Ryan Nolan, welcome to Dog Talk and Kitties too. You and your wife have done something completely unique. And after 15 years in this business, I'm always amazed that there's always new ideas of things by and for pets. And yours not only is a unique idea, but it does amazingly good work for animals in need of rescuing. Tell your story of how you and your wife fell down a rabbit hole. Call it that, but Darren and Phillip is a wonderful business idea, and you're already thriving. You've given away $1 million.
Over a
So
million
over
dollars
a
and helped
million dollars, that's not
over.
nothing, as we like to say. And you're
That's
a
right.
brand new company. Tell the story of how Darren and Phillip began, and then we'll tell people the surprise reveal of what this unique thing is that you do.
Sure. So, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here and good to chat with you. Um, so, like you said, my wife and I run the company now. We own the business, but we weren't the original founders. We like to say we rescued the business. So, the
Yes.
company was started in Australia in 2016, based on two English Staffordshire Bull Terrier dogs named Darren and Phillip.
Okay.
And the whole idea here was to make the original founders that own these dogs noticed that people were a little bit scared of the bully breeds,
Right.
and they wanted to change the narrative around these breeds. And so making really cute apparel for the dogs to wear and matching stuff for the humans was how the business got started. And they ran it for a long time and expanded from Australia to the US a little bit. But life moved on and they continued to grow the business. And then they end up having two little kids and they were ready to move on and didn't really know how to expand it from there. So my wife and I already knew about the brand. We were really excited for the opportunity. We're pet lovers ourselves. We've had multiple rescue dogs. I think we're on number five right now. And we also have cats and other animals on our property here. So we loved the idea and loved, even more importantly, the mission around the brand. Like you said, the company since the start has always been about giving back to rescues, in particular to rescues that focus on bully breeds, but really all kinds of dog rescues. And to date, the brand has donated over $1 million. We've calculated that saves about 4,000 dogs. So it's about $300 a dog for a rescue to uh, feed them, provide medical service, support
Yeah.
them, and get them in a home. That was a big selling point for us, and we were really excited about that.
That's a huge number for a young company
Yeah,
building a product that people didn't know they need. Sometimes a product seems like a solution in search of a problem, but I think yours is a solution to something that people didn't know they needed, but when they see it, it's lovable. And it's apparel for humans like pajamas or dressing gowns, what we used to
that's right.
call dressing gowns, now we call them,
Bathrobes. Yeah,
yeah, bathrobes, and some matching apparel for the dog, or what I like even more, because a lot of dogs, maybe the bullies in the winter in a cold place, don't mind wearing an outfit, if you will, but a lot of dogs don't need it, don't want it, they're long haired. I like the matching throws that you
that's
have.
right.
So there's a lot of cuddle time on the couch, which I think is where many of us do our loving, and even
That's
with
right.
cats. So how did you figure out how to do the sizing? Because you have humans of all sizes, you have dogs of all sizes, and people can go on Darren and Phillip on the website and buy any of the apparel for humans in various very cute prints in various sizes, and ditto for the dogs, or ditto for the blanket that matches the person's outfit, nighttime
That's right.
outfit. So
Yeah.
how did
So
you figure out
for
sizing? You obviously can't have a warehouse with 1,000 XXLs, 1,000 extra smalls, etc. That
yeah,
would bankrupt you. So how did you do it?
we were fortunate enough to inherit a lot of the hard work that was done around sizing. So first of all, going back to how our business works, we come out with new collections almost every month, usually about once a
Wow.
month.
Wow.
And that includes sometimes, like you said, sometimes that'll be matching pajamas for the whole family. We all know about matching Christmas pajamas that
Right.
people use for their Christmas photos and so forth. We got to include the dog too, because they're part of the family. So matching pajamas for the whole family and the dog and the blanket, like you said. Oftentimes we'll include the blankets, and we have The brand has a cult following around. Our
Does it?
customers are so loyal. Oh yeah, we have a huge following on social media. We have a huge loyal customer base that any collection that we launch, they're coming to buy it. And we have
No
people that
way.
collect our blankets,
No.
like trading cards.
Seriously?
Seriously, yeah, yeah.
Did you inherit those people or did you create that following, you and your wife?
It's been building up over the years. So yeah, we acquired all of that when we took over the company.
Right.
Is this loyal fan base that loves what we do. Now, back to the sizing.
Yeah.
Actually, the human sizing is easier than the dog sizing, right? The humans are pretty
Yeah.
straightforward, especially if something a bathrobe,
Yeah.
small, medium, large, extra large, you pretty
Yeah.
much cover it. Or in pajamas too. For the dogs, a lot of hard work has gone into getting that sizing just right. And so we go all the way from triple extra small up to extra large. When it started, like I said, it was really meant to be for bully breeds. So
Right.
it was designed and built around the body of a bully breed dog, which is big, muscular,
Yes. And shorter and
stocky
wider.
dog.
Yeah.
Right. The brand appeals to people with other breeds. And of course, people who own maybe a Staffy or a Pit Bull also have a Chihuahua sometimes. And
Sure.
so they wanted matching stuff for all their dogs. So we've scaled it all the way down. Again, a lot of trial and error, a lot of getting samples from our supplier and going through and measuring and making sure would
Hmm.
this fit a Chihuahua the same way as it fits a 80-pound
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
Shepherd or something. And we've even made adjustments since we took over because we didn't like how some of the real small ones fit. The straps were a little too big and so forth on the robes. And so we've tweaked it even more to make it great. And so we have a size chart on our website now that's a good guide for what size.
What kind of returns do you get? People who say this, or people good? Do they do the measuring the way you want them to? I'm just thinking of the practicalities. You buy a company, it costs you X dollars.
Yeah.
Now you have to find a bigger audience to make sure your investment is safe. Now you have to make sure they're not treating you like Amazon, where people buy because they can return. I don't know about you, but at my Staples, where you can bring back Amazon returns, this
Yeah.
is just a little town in Vermont. They send Amazon twice a day, boxes as big as your sofa, filled with people's stuff they're
Yeah.
returning. I think we've become, in America at least, such a return culture. It's got to hurt a small boutique business like yours.
Well, our return rate is actually really low
Good, good.
compared to the benchmark, I think, for typical brands.
Yeah,
Again, new customers coming in are may they use our size chart and it's pretty accurate,
good.
and we do offer free exchanges. So sometimes we have to do the exchange. They're never returning it because they don't like the product. Our product
Okay,
is top quality.
nice.
It's a premium product. We spend a fair amount of time making sure we source great fabrics, sustainable fabrics, super
Nice.
soft and comfortable. Our robes and our blankets, like are just it's like a cloud. They're so soft. Even the pajamas and everything. So great craftsmanship and great product. And so people don't return from that. If anything, it's exchanging for a size, like you said, but we're happy, usually they get it right, but we're happy to make an exchange if it's off or something. Because
Good.
every dog, God, there's so many different body shapes, right? It's hard even with the size chart as a good guide, but it's
On
not
the
a
other hand, it sounds like your customers almost don't care. They just want a Darren and Phillip outfit, and if it doesn't work, they'll put it in the pile of blankets that they're stockpiling. That's so cool to be,
or they'll donate it. They'll donate it to
yes,
a rescue or something. We encourage.
sure, or give to your sister who has, in my case,
Sure.
Brussels
That's
Griffins.
right.
So it's obviously a really good gift item. It's very hard to
Right.
give people gifts, and it's hard to give edible gifts because a lot of these dogs have various tummy issues. So
Yeah.
it sounds like a kind of really cool gift to give to people with dogs. Now, I'm going to jump a little ahead and say, what about cats? Because one of the ways that people most bond with their cats, other than playing, which is really important with wand toys and the like, is cuddle time on the couch on the cat's terms. Now,
Yeah.
one thing we know about cats is that they love very soft, squishy fabric. In fact, I remember when the Dog Bible first came out, and I went to San Francisco. There was a little launch party at a wonderful boutique independent pet store. and I'm looking around and I hadn't written the cat Bible yet, I don't think. I was working on it and I said, "You don't have cat beds, you have dog beds. Why is that?" She said, "Oh, we have had cat beds in the past, and we've discovered that if we were to sell a cardboard box with several old cashmere sweaters in it, we'd sell out of that because
Yeah.
that's what the cats." So, jumping ahead, your blankets being so cloud-like, soft and squishy would be a really good way to get your cat to cuddle with you. You either drape it over some part of the sofa, you drape it over you, which also keeps the cat fur off you. But that's something you guys see yourselves as a dog brand. But I'd love to suggest that cat people need some cuddle time too.
Yes, we definitely are a dog brand, but in my household, we have four cats as well.
Oh,
Indoor, three are outdoor cats. But my 9-year-old daughter loves her indoor cat. And of course, we have lots of these blankets around our house. And you're right. They love cuddling in the blankets and doing their little,
yes, their
little
little kneading
pawing and
thing. Yeah.
kneading thing and nesting in there. So you're right. There's no reason you can't use one of our blankets for cats too.
And can you buy just the blanket or everything should be a set?
You can buy anything individually. So you can buy the blankets individually. You can even buy just the dog apparel individually. And then if you buy the bundle of things together, you get a little discount on it.
Got it. So, where is your warehouse? You're in Denver, Colorado. I don't know, the practicality of this daunts me. If I was your pal and we're going out for dinner and you and your wife, Chris, say, "We got this great idea. We're gonna invest X huge amount of dollars," because it wasn't Fidala in
Right.
this Australian company that it's a tiny little company and the idea is unique, but Dot, I'd say, yeah, no, Brian, I'm scared for you because I don't know. And I'm a brave person. I launched the Dog and Cat Film Festivals on a dime, my own dime, so to speak. If there's something you really believe in and if you make it, they will come kind of idea. But I think it took a lot of courage. So I'm just wondering, what did you do about a warehouse? And are you
Yeah.
sourcing in China? And what happens with tariffs? Tell us the story. I don't want people listening to go, "This is great. I have a great idea too. And my uncle is going to give me $10,000 to do X idea." But
Yeah.
then I want you to tell people the harsh realities, if they are harsh.
Sure. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Okay.
My background is entrepreneurship and e-commerce. So I've actually started multiple businesses
Oh,
before this, soft tech companies, software companies that
okay.
I've sold. So I have the risk
The risk,
personality to
yeah,
take on something like this.
yeah,
My wife says I have an optimism bias because I don't have a plan B ever. I always think plan A is going to work.
I like
And
that.
usually it does. So I think first of all, you have to have the personality to
Yes.
be an entrepreneur and be able to
Right.
roll with the ups and downs. Because right after we bought this company, bam, 145% tariffs. And it's like, what do we do? What do we do now?
Wow.
So there is still uncertainty around,
That's right.
this is still an
On a
ongoing
daily
thing with,
basis.
yeah, for sure. And working out trade deals with all these countries. We do source our product primarily from China right now. And really the reason is because there's no real apparel manufacturing in the US that can
Right.
get their price point, right? And the quality. So that's part of it. And China is really the only country where you can order the minimum quantities that we need. We're not big enough to go
That's right.
buy
Yeah,
millions of units, right?
that's right.
So even going to Vietnam or any of these other countries have sometimes 10 times the minimum quantity.
Interesting.
Again, we inherited relationships with really good suppliers. And so we have multiple suppliers that we use for different things. And so that works. Half the business is still in Australia in terms of sales. So we have
Wow.
a warehouse in Australia and a warehouse in Los Angeles.
Wow.
It's a third party logistics company that manages that
Okay.
for us. Same company, they have locations around the world. And so when we order these collections every month, we split it and send some of the inventory to Australia and some to the US. And our US warehouse also fulfills orders for Canada, UK, and Europe, where we also have maybe 5% of the business in those countries. Yeah, it's a complex operation. It's not for the faint of heart by any means.
Oh,
We're, like I said, still trying to navigate the tariff situation, and we've fortunately been able to continue on and figure things out. And It hasn't been super easy, and we missed a couple months there in the spring where we couldn't launch anything because we couldn't import product at a
Right.
reasonable price. And so it was a little touch and go there. And we're fortunate to have a company that can weather that. A lot of
That's right.
companies can't weather that storm, small businesses, and that's challenging for a lot of people. But yeah, we're optimistic. We feel like we have a lot of room to grow. Most people in the US don't know about us, so we have a huge opportunity here to
That's
continue
right.
growing in the US and getting the word out. Once people see what we do, they love it. Pet dog lovers in particular just love what we're doing. There's now younger generation that don't have kids that have animals and treat them as their kids, right? And so we
And
appeal
they
to.
love Instagram. They want to take pictures.
They love Instagram. They love TikTok. Our
Yep.
product is great for that. It's cute, shows off. Like I said, we have a big following on Instagram and growing on TikTok as well. We're optimistic for the future of the business and continuing to grow it. We're going to Super Zoo for the first time this
Right.
year. Never done that before, so we'll see what that feedback is like.
Are you in independent pet stores? Is that one of the places that you're sold?
We are in one right now in Santa
One
Fe, New
independent
Mexico,
pet store.
because
Super
we
Zoo and Global Pet Expo are theoretically, I go because I want to meet people and see what they're doing and make relationships with them and support them and cheer them on like I'm doing with you. But it's mostly supposed to be for retailers to find product that they want to now order and have in their store. And you don't seem like a independent or even box store brand. You seem like something that is really in your background and online e-commerce.
That's right. So to date, the entire business has been direct to
Yeah,
consumer e-commerce. We think there might be an opportunity here to get into pet stores. A lot of boutique pet stores don't carry a lot of apparel,
that's
but I
right.
think what we have is pretty unique. Besides being cute, our robes, actually, our dog robes, also have a functional component. We found out by accident that the way we do the straps and strap around the belly of the dog, it creates this pressure, kind of hugging
Oh,
type of thing.
interesting.
So
Like
it creates a
compression
calming
garment.
effect for a lot of dogs. We've noticed it even with our little puppy. When we put her in the robe, she just calms down and relaxes. So
That's
does that,
interesting. That reminds me of the tale of anxiety wrap,
yeah,
which you're much bigger than they ever were. But it was two women, one of whom has since tragically died young. They had day jobs, and they had this idea. It was unique to them of a garment, a compression garment made of a very tight, stretchy, think of leggings for Pilates kind of
yeah,
material and it was based on this compression idea, going back in a sense to Temple Grandin and her compression idea, she being autistic and having studied it for cattle that were going through the slaughter process, that
uh,
compression was very calming. They developed this, and I want to say that one of them may even have been based in Colorado, and they were making it in America, and it cost X dollars. And when I learned about them and I had them on this show, I really appreciated they were just bootstrapping it and that the product really did work. It was tricky to get on, I'll tell you that. It was really tight to get it on. And by the time they grew a tiny bit, and I was the only marketing they were doing, they couldn't afford to do it in the US. And they went to China, personally went there, no small trip, as you, I'm sure
yeah,
yourself have found. And they found that when they wanted to change the fabric somewhat and the design somewhat, that the people in America said, nah, I can't do that. Or, yeah, in about 6 months, I'll try it. And they went to China. I've always remembered this anecdote. It's important for people to understand that our Chinese manufacturers and trading partners are fantastic partners. They
that's right.
went there and they said to the gentleman at this factory, so could you do X? He goes, sure. He ran upstairs, is the anecdote they told, on some sort of a sewing machine, came downstairs and said, what do you think? And that was the attitude. It's a
Right.
can do, will do, right now, no problem. We're in this together. And I think
That's
that speaks a lot to the value. There's all this demonization of various other countries based on basically misinformation, disinformation, lies, social media hoo-ha. We need to be partnered with companies in order for American business to thrive because, as you said, we don't do the manufacturing here. And if we do, it's slow, it's wildly costly, and it's not very nimble in terms of being able to change or accommodate what a company's vision is. So
Yeah.
I think that the idea that the wrap around the belly really works is really interesting. I thought you
Yeah.
might be saying that you would use a terry cloth fabric so that you could put the robe on the dog after a bath. Now, I would buy two of those for Wanda and Sky. We need a large and a medium, please. Only
So,
kidding. But if it were made of terry cloth or one of those super absorbent synthetic terries,
yeah.
that they make stuff of, a lot of us with any size dog who give a bath, you can rub them off with a human towel or a dog towel. They're still really wet. And where do they want to go? On the couch or on your
In the
bed,
bowl and yeah,
right?
exactly.
So you could put that on them. So I don't know if that would at all be in your mind, but no one's
We
done.
have that. So we have that. So our robes, most of the
Oh,
dog robes are a super soft fleece like the human robes. And it just slips over the dog's head. There's no armholes or anything like that you have
right,
to worry about. And then the strap holds it in place and it creates that
right.
effect. We do have a terry cloth. We call it a towel robe, tassel towel
Oh,
robe. These little tassels on the bottom too. Two different colors. And those are meant for bath time or the beach or
oh my God,
whatever.
the beach, so cute.
So I can definitely give you some of those.
No, I will buy them. I want everyone to know that I never ask for freebies because certainly from a small young company, the last thing you want to do is, so I had you on my show, can I have some free stuff?
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
at all. Maybe you'll give me the family price, meaning wholesale or something. When any of us, this is another use for that Terry one, any of us who take our dogs either on or off leash, but off the property, whether it's muddy woods or very wet grass or the beach, got sand and wet, if you could put that on before getting back in the car,
yeah.
that would go a long way to containing whatever they've rolled around in or
Yeah.
splashed or run through. That's really great. That's another very practical, functional, not cute on TikTok idea. There's kind of branches of your tree that
That's
I'm
right.
sure
Everything's cute.
I'm not.
Everything's built around happiness. Like all the products should make you feel happy and smile when you see your dog and you get to cuddle and match your dog and take the family photos matching. That's what it's all about. Now, there's some functionality in some of these pieces as well, which is an added bonus. And then our social impact on top of that really makes a lot of people happy to buy what we have.
Let's go to the social impact because
Sure.
that is what I led with and what most caught my eye. It's great that you rescued an Australian company and are thriving with it and riding the wave of the tariff nonsense. There's no other word for it. Although it can be ruinous, it can be devastating. It's not
Yeah.
like lighthearted nonsense, but we hope that will calm down at some point. Someone needs a tranquilizer. Anyway, just saying, these are impacting tens of thousands of American lives and businesses and workers. Not a good thing. But let's talk about the social impact, the fact that didn't just put that kind of, we give a portion of our proceeds to animal rescue. Some authors will say that, some companies will say it, but it's very vague. What portion? To what rescues? How did you do it? So how do you do your philanthropy in just a few words? Because of course we're nearly out of time because I am a blabber.
There's a lot to it. We do say, and it's true, that every purchase helps a dog in need because every time you purchase from us, it gives us the opportunity to make donations to rescue. So we do that either through cash donations or sometimes product donations. And sometimes those could come randomly based on events. So, for instance, when the fires in California were happening,
Yes.
the Pasadena Humane Society got in hundreds of
Yes.
animals. We sent a giant box of blankets
Wow.
to them, right? So that was
Nice.
just at the moment, it wasn't planned. We have
What you
extra
had.
blankets
Yeah.
and we sent a bunch to them. We
Nice.
also have planned donations. So our customers also love to be able to give back. And so we'll do a fundraising event at the
Oh,
end of the year as well. And we'll divvy up that money between 10 or 11 rescues, both here,
nice.
Australia, even UK a little bit. Um, and those are big checks that we could write because our customers will
Nice.
actually contribute to it as well. Um, we also do things like we get reached out to all the time by rescues that are doing silent auctions or some kind of fundraiser themselves. So we may, depending on the rescue and where we're at and stuff, but maybe donate a product or a blanket or something like that to
Nice.
a silent auction and let them go raise money on that. So there's different ways that we contribute, but they're all to recognized legitimate rescue
Yes.
organizations that we vet and check out and make sure they're good.
And
Uh,
I just want to say that the time and energy you have to spend to vet it out and then to determine what to send and then to pay the shipping to get it there and maybe even circle back and see if they gave you any credit for it, because that's only right, whether it's on social media or somewhere else. It's definitely a daunting prospect. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I would love to see what you do next. I'm going to place an order for the terry robes with the tassel for Wanda and Sky, and maybe keep my furniture and bed a little drier after baths or after incredibly wet Vermont walks. Brian Nolan, you and Chris are doing something great. Thank God you have the optimism gene, because you
Yeah.
deserve all the success you've already had. Keep on keeping on. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Tracy. Thanks so much for having me.
Take